Okay, I understand. Let me stream to the channel here. I did prepare some notes and let's go over the game real fast.
Yeah, I can see it.
So, let me ask you, what's your improvement process like? Do you watch any of your own replays? You watch content creators? What do you usually do?
I I usually watch content creator.
Okay, that's not bad. Who you usually watch?
BSJ or Pain Dota mostly.
Yeah, those are two very good ones. I like both of them. They do like different type of content. I like, I think BSJ is probably more interesting to watch. I think Pain Dota has a lot of like very useful, um, like maybe less fun to watch, but very very good.
Yeah,
So
but he's good at farming patterns and all that stuff.
yeah, so starting off on this game, like, what do you think your laning is? I know you want to go over like the how to like play when your team's feeding, but I do want to just go over the laning phase. First 10 minutes. So like, who do you see your laning against in this game here?
So it would be Swen mostly, and also I expected either Zakir or Shaman.
Yeah, so you're probably gonna be laning against the Sven, and either with the Shaman or with the Jakiro. Looking at your team, like you look at your team, you got Pudge, Mirana, AA, Lone Druid, and your Troll. They have, Jug, Sven, Natures, like kind of have like three carries, and they have like the Jakiro Shaman. Um, what do you think is your job in this game? Are you the initiator, the tower hitter, the backline jumper? Like, what do you see as you looking at your team? What do you do for your team this game?
Like for me, I thought of this like that I can counter maybe Jagar and Sven and leave the rest of them to the team. But what happened was no one was engaging on the Shaman. So later on, I tried to jump on that Shaman, but I think he got an Eon Disc as well as his passive, so I couldn't kill him either.
Yeah, so I think like in this game, you're one of like the main tower hitters or like objective takers for
Okay.
your team. I think you don't have like a lot of like stuns, like hard disable on your team. You have a Pudge Hook, you have the Marana Arrow, you have the AA. This kind of needs someone to like kind of set up. So you're kind of the guy. You kind of hit towers. You help take Roshan. You help take the Tormentor for your team. The LD is very similar. The bear is very good for like pushing and stuff like that. But you're kind of like the secondary to like hit towers and take objectives. So that's just like your role in the game. Versus their
Hmm.
team, who is like the enemy, who on the enemy kills you, who do you need to focus, and like who's like the major threat that you see.
Uh, I think me Shaman is a big problem. Like if he holds me, then uh, anyone can end me. So, and other than that, mostly if Jagger has his ult, it will be a problem. And even Swain also. So, like, it's best to engage when their ults are down.
Hmm. So like, what do you see as like being one of the strengths of Troll and the weakness of Troll?
Uh,
Just one
Held
strength,
by
one.
stuns. Weakness would be stuns.
Yeah,
And
being
stuns
controlled,
and kiting.
kiting. Yeah. So like, and what do you say his strength was?
Strength would be like he's sort of an anti carry. He can deal with the other carries well in a one-on-one
Hmm.
situation.
Yeah, very hard to 1v1 him. He's also a pretty strong laner, and like you
Yeah.
said, the downside is very hard being controlled. So like on their side is the Shaman is like your number one threat, and then there's like Jakiro and the Natures, because the Ice Path and the Sprout are just very annoying. Stops you from hitting people. So that's the main threat. Based off of your like lane here, so we talked about you're probably versus like a Sven, Shaman, or Jakiro. So like you can like go very heavy stats here. I think even like here you can like start with the magic wand. You can do wand,
Okay.
and 3 branches, and that gives you 6 stats instead of just 4. And then when you get the bounty runes, you
Okay.
can fury out the tangos. Now that like bounty runes are in the game, you don't have to like you don't always have to start if you don't think it's gonna be a lot of damage. The Sven is probably not gonna be trading with you in the lane, you know. So you don't have to
Right.
start with it this lane. Like if you were versus like a Timber, then maybe you want to start with the Tangos, because right away you're gonna take damage.
Okay.
So I think that's minor stuff. So getting to the first wave here, it meets in a good place, and your primary focus should be on maintaining lane equilibrium. So immediately,
Okay.
the first thing that's happening here is the Sven is using the creep aggro. He aggroed onto you, so that way your melee creeps would chase him. Your melee creeps, they would chase you for a moment, but because you're not hitting them, your range creep is hitting them and pulling the aggro and drawing it into your tower. So because this is going to happen, what's going to be the result here in a couple of seconds?
The creep wave is going to push to Swain's side
It's gonna push the
because
Sven
my
side.
creeps are dying to the tower.
Yeah, so like immediately your lane is already off to a rough start. You want to prioritize trying to keep it here as long as possible. Missing
Yeah, that is
some,
why I aggroed back so that at least I get the kills back.
yeah. So in this case
But
here,
still,
it's fine. I think what I want you to focus on here in this lane, the way that you
mm,
win this lane is that you're going to be focusing on clicking this guy a lot and just getting farm and last hits. So that's like the main objective in this lane. So we'll just see how it plays out a bit. Also, you have not checked the Sven's items one time in this lane. So like what you can do
okay.
is just kind of see like what do you have, what does he have. He has one side of his hand goes to the U. He's rushing a bracer from what you can see. He doesn't have a stick. So you do have a stick. So that
Mm,
means when it comes to like small trades, you can win trades when you have the stick. If you have more charges, you can also spam your spells while having to worry about him getting stick charges here in this lane.
right.
So I think most of the lane didn't go too bad. There's a couple of things I will get to. So like there's going to be a trend happening in this lane. And let me just turn down my game sound a little bit here. So there's going to be a trend happening in this lane where you're either not attacking or being aggressive enough when you have the creep advantage. So like right here for
Okay.
example, you just want to be harassing this guy as much as possible. His lane partner is dead. You have more creeps than him. So if he tries to trade with you, he's going to take more damage because you have more
Okay.
creeps. So every time this happens, you want to just right click him. Like even like here, there's a time, there's like 2 seconds here where you can be positioning your body here. You can still want to eye the last hit. You want to make sure you're getting the last hit, but you want to be right clicking him as much as possible, like 3, 4 more times here.
Okay. This is very high level stuff no one ever told you.
Yeah, so like this will just make your lanes way better. So even like here, when every
Hmm.
chance that whenever you have more creeps, they have no creeps, this is the cue for you to be aggressive. There are like cues in Dota to like be passive, be aggressive. This is one of those to say you click them, you use your spells. This is like when you have a slow, you slow him so you're getting clicked even more by all of these creeps here. There's small windows to trade a little bit more here. I think we'll get to the 5 minute mark here real fast. Pushing out the wave. And all of this is like fine. I'm not gonna like talk about like small stuff like missing creeps. You can always get better just Make sure you're getting every single last hit in the lane. You know, even here, like small stuff. Like I wouldn't want to get too much onto the laning, but like here you can drag aggro. Like all of these creeps are almost
Okay.
like low. You walk up a little bit, click the spin, and then you pull back. That way you just pull them closer to you, so you have even more chance that you secure all the last hits. All this is fine. So I think at 5:15 is gonna be the next big thing in lane. Okay,
I don't know
yeah,
how come Jagger got this much farm. He's like top of net worth.
yeah,
Maybe he got a lot of kills.
yeah, because you have two more last hits than him. He just has one kill, three assists. So
Damn.
there's not too much you can do about that, and that's fine. You want to just focus on
Okay.
maximizing your game because like your troll, you can carry this game 100% on your shoulders if you're playing with the right mindset of number one, you want to dominate your lane. The first 10 minutes, using the aggro tricks, abusing just when you have more creeps, that type of things. There's we do more lessons over time. We can do like more on the laning and matchups and stuff like that. But like I think you're okay right there. You play the lane fine here. So I think here's probably the biggest mistake is number one, you want to be like careful against Jakiro stacking up two bodies if he does like the dual breath. Just something to keep in mind. And then like
Hmm.
right here at this timing, what do you notice about Jakiro's positioning here?
Nothing at all.
Okay. So what do you notice about the creeps?
They are low on health and they are probably going to push to their side.
Yes. So I want you to think of every interaction in the first 10 minutes. Every decision that you make is based off the creep wave. So right now, Jakiro's creeps are about to die. So when these creeps are dying, all of your creeps are gonna start hitting him. If you also want to
Yes, yes.
draw a visual line in your mind of this Jakiro is like a range hero and he's kind of ahead of his Sven. He's kind of in the front
Mm.
where he's kind of frontlining
Yeah.
on Jakiro. So this is like an indicator these creatures are about to die. He's here to where this can be a potential
Yeah,
kill.
he is going to be hit. Mm.
Yeah, or it could be a potential kill or at least high harass. So this is a
I see.
situation where you want to use your axes. Maybe you can try to get the last hits on all of these and hit him at the same time and then just right click, right click, right click. That's what you want to do. But here you kind of missed it on the side. You're kind of going trading for the spin, and then you decide a little bit late to come back for this guy.
Okay.
And at this time, this is where you're kind of getting kited, and he's gonna just barely get away and result in both of you guys dying.
Shit.
And it's just a very little minor just positioning. It's just a watching the creep wave. Just watching the creep wave and just seeing what's going on here and just focusing on this guy. This guy is usually gonna be who you want to kill first. So like
Mm.
between 846 and 984, the cure are usually gonna be the easier kill unless you're actually clicking this guy more in lane. Like this Finn is the guy that's usually gonna be walking up a lot. So I do want to get past the laning phase, so we'll get past this and then just recap on it. So just to recap again, is the trend that was happening in this lane is you were not attacking or being aggressive enough when you had the creep advantage.
Yeah.
You got to use a small windows of opportunity and just acquire an eye for this art. It's just kind of getting a feeling
Mm.
of noticing will I lose a last hit. So like your lane focus and priority should always be as followed. It's going to be first last hits. Last hits is always your cue over anything else you want to go for the last hit. If you're not going for the last hit, if there's nothing to last hit, that means you're looking for a deny. That's always number two. If there's nothing to last hit or deny, that means you're looking to harass. So you're trying to right click as much as
Okay.
possible, you know. And then the last priority is kills. Kills is like the last thing you're going for. So especially in this lane, this is just like not really a kill lane, you know, versus the Sven is a you should be able to theoretically in this lane because you're a range hero. You're both. You're range and a melee. So you should be able to harass Sven with spells with right clicks, with whirling axes, and then also be able to deny and last it a lot. That's really all you need to do to win this lane. So that should just be
Okay.
the idea. And let's see. So moving forward, we're going to get to the first 10 minutes. So first 10 to 15 minutes is you want to focus on your Battle Fury timing. All this was fine. So you want to focus on your Battle Fury timing. I know you said you watched some Pain Dota, so you know for like when he talks about farming patterns, do you know how to
Yes.
utilize the rivers?
Yes. I know. But
Mhm. Yeah,
you can
so
wait.
yeah, so it's just like a, for example, on every minute mark, let's say you hit this wave, you push that out, and you farm this camp, maybe farm the small camp, you come farm this camp, these camps, and then you can use the water to run back here, and then back to your ancients. So just depending on how fast you're farming, you make it back here again. That's kind of like the farming pattern with the river.
Mm, yeah.
But I think it's that the biggest thing. We also just want to make sure around the every minute mark, around this time period, you want to try to stack camps. Troll is a pretty decent stack camp taker. You can like take double or triple stacks with your spells. So like something to think about here is like on this minute mark, you have about 40
Mm-hmm.
seconds left here. Maybe skip this small camp because you get more gold if you clear this and this, and then maybe
Okay.
make it back. So you want to think about how many camps can you get in the minute mark to be back here for the wave when it comes in. So you come here, and then you're walking back here. So I think like even this, I think you don't need to come back. I think you farm this camp, you farm this camp, maybe sack this camp, and then you make it
Okay.
back here. Cause you're coming back here, you're getting like maybe one, two more creeps, where you can like have those extra creeps and maybe a stack over there as well.
Right.
And then like this doesn't have to die right away. You know, you don't have to be here. That's fine. It's very just minor improvements to your efficiency is what you want to try to do. But even then, like your net worth, you're here top net worth in your game. So this is like not the reason why you lost.
Yeah, definitely. I think like for my rank, my farming patterns are pretty good. Like I may be trash in higher ranks, but at least here my farming patterns are pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I think definitely not bad. I like that you walked over here to hit this tower. You're creating pressure while you're farming. I think you just finished a Battle Fury, so instead of walking down here to these camps, you want to focus on ancient camps every minute.
Okay.
In your farming pattern, where no matter where you're at, if you're here, this ancient camp, if you're here, this ancient camp. You want to have that, especially when you have Battle Fury. You want to try to see if you can like right now at this time you kill this tower is 40 seconds. At the 40 second you keep walking here and then you can stack this for yourself and then farm it. And that will be more money than coming down here to farm these.
I had a one question here. Like, for
Mhm.
example, here I see that Pudge and AA are over the top farming. So that is why I didn't go there. But so you're saying that I go to the ancient and come back to the mid lane again?
Yeah, so you don't even have to
Okay.
go back to the mid lane because the mid lane is kind of dangerous as out here, right? So
Hmm.
this as a Battle Fury hero,
Hmm.
you like to farm triangle. There's specific heroes that like to farm
Okay.
triangle, right? Battle Fury
So,
heroes, Medusa, TA. These type of heroes, they want to prioritize the triangle over most other stuff. Maybe like if you're playing PL, You prioritize these camps because you just rush to them
Mm,
faster, faster. You don't really want to take ancients on like a hero like PL, right? But like
okay.
for troll, definitely once you have Battle Fury, this is your farm. Like even if your team is here, you don't care because this is like faster, more gold for you. If you're farming ancient camps, you're gonna be more levels ahead, and you also just come over here. This is just safer. It's harder for you to get
Okay.
ganks in these areas as well. Where these areas is much more enemy can put vision here. It's easy for them to walk in here, from here. So many ways to invade. So just generally is can be better here. You want your team, generally speaking, this is like the first tower you want your team to take if they can, because it
Mm,
opens up this ancient camp for you. You can farm this, you can farm here, you can farm back to your triangle here, and all of this area down here. So like this whole area of the map. Can I draw on the map? No, it won't let me
yeah.
draw. But yeah, all of this areas of the map you can kind of be able to farm
Okay.
once this tower is gone. So I think so not a big thing. Minor efficiency. We get to like some of the big fights later on where I think where you guys actually start to lose.
Yeah, I think my fight IQ is a bit less. Like I carry all the net worth and then lose. So
This was so lucky. This up here, this TP was very very lucky. I don't know if you
right.
remember that play,
Okay.
but it worked out very nicely. But let's see. So okay, so another thing is the item build. So like I don't know how much troll you play. You play a lot of troll.
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, so like right now, like the main core build on troll is you go Battle Fury,
SNY, right?
SMY,
Yeah.
BKB, Ags.
Yeah. Actually, I was scared in this game because NP was there. So I thought maybe I will go BKB first. Like
Okay,
they can just TP and kill me, right?
so you got the BKB because of NP.
Yeah, I think I got it because of NP. Like he can jump and like harass me somehow, and then they
Yes.
can like smoke and
So
kill me or something like that.
so the NP, I mean, he does like 250 sprout damage, like 115. He doesn't do a lot of magical damage. NP is mostly right clicks. He's mostly gonna right click you and just like harass you with the sprout. The BKB doesn't really do anything there. The BKB is mostly for the shaman. Is why you get BKB. So a BKB is a good item. It's not necessarily bad, but the trade-off is like you're getting BKB very early. So this is an indication that you want to fight early. The BKB is like you
Okay.
get BKB because you want to fight. This like I'm ready to fight item. So you're also going to burn through the charges faster because you're getting it early in the game. So you're going to go from 9 to 6 seconds really early. When you go for the SMY, it gives you 25% slow resistance, which helps against the Jakiro slows. It also gives you the 15% status resistance, so that helps you against the Spin Stun. It helps you against every spell of Jakiro. All of these will be on you less amount of time. It helps you for the Shackle and the Hex. All of that will be on you a less amount of time because you have the status resistance, so you'll be stunned a less amount of time. So it's like you don't have to pop BKB. Like it helps you be more survivable and be less kiteable with the SMY. While also
Okay.
you can have the BKB still after that. Besides that, do you understand what the Ags does on Troll?
Yeah, it's a dispel.
It's a dispel. So one of the biggest weaknesses to Troll is like we discussed is being kited. Being stalked by someone that is Julesed, Glimmered, Aeon Dis, even this passive, the foul play, even this is a like a buff that can be dispelled.
Oh, I had no idea that this can be dispelled.
Nullifier
But
makes does not work as well. So like with the Ags, what it does for you is you can debuff the shaman and all these heroes debuff some type of item. And he's making Yule's Legend hero, so you'll be able to debuff and actually kill their supports, which is very big for you.
But actually, it doesn't work on Yules, right? Like if you can steal Yules and run away. Like this has happened to me many times.
I think you have to hit them first, as I believe. But let me see. Let me see. Well, I'll test that out after this game. But like,
Okay.
either way, it also gives you a debuff against the Sven Warcry, so you take off his bonus armor as well.
Yeah, that would work. Yes.
Yeah, it
But for
also
code stuff and that cyclone, it doesn't work.
the biggest thing is for your liquid fire is like a minus attack slow. You also debuff that type of stuff. In dual breath,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
debuff yourself as well. So it's just a very strong item for troll because
Hmm.
it makes
Okay.
you not be controlled, and you also make people not able to get away from you as easily.
Hmm.
Um, so that's one thing about the item build, and then I think it's also like after that, then you go your luxury item. You either go like for the Scotty, Abyssal, MKB, after you have for the Battle Fury, SMY, Ags, BKB. Those are like your starting items, your core items. But we'll get to that later. So I think all of this is fine. The main thing is going to be at, I think, 25 or 30 minutes. Let me see. Yeah, 25 minutes is going to be the next big thing. So all of this, you're farming. AK farm is fine. You're getting your next items. So like with the BKB, you're indicating once again you want to fight. You want to kind of like take towers and go in with your team, which is okay. Like you're playing to your plan of how you plan to use that item is okay, as long as you're like everything is lining up for your game plan, your item build. So like once you have this BKB, I know you guys want to go high ground. You're gonna go for Aegis, speed up a bit. I think all of this is fine. Up to this point, you went call for the Aegis. Okay, so while we're getting closer to this point, I want to ask you, how strong do you think Aegis is on Sven as a hero?
Uh, how strong?
Yeah, so like compared to a hero like Faceless Void, when he gets Aegis, versus a troll. I'm sorry, a troll with Aegis.
I have never thought about this actually.
Mhm. So
I think uh, a hero like Swain or Lifestealer, they are stronger with ages because they can consistently fight. But Troll is dependent on his ult and became.
mhm. so the main factor I think about is how does my hero feel after I die the first time? So a hero like Sven, for example, if you pop your ultimate and your BKB on your first life and you come back to life, it feels really bad because you don't really have anything afterwards, right? On like a
Okay.
hero like Sven. But like let's say your Faceless Void, for example, you don't really care as much as long as you have like your chrono, like you have time walk and your abilities are very strong even like outside of your ultimate. Same thing is like similar with Troll. If you wait, it's like if you pop your ultimate in your BKB on or like you hold it works out in different ways. So like if you're just holding it for the first life and you wait to come up, what happens to your team in that time? Or like if you just pop ultimate, let's say for example, you ultimate in BKB and then you guys take a fight and then you die afterwards and then you come up, even though you have the second life, it doesn't do anything because you don't have ultimate or BKB. Like how strong is your hero when you don't have ultimate or BKB?
Almost useless.
Almost useless. So like
Yeah.
it's like you almost want to make sure you're using your first life really really well or you want to use your second life really well. So you want to be able to like
Okay.
use take a lot of stuff with your first life. So that's just something I want you to think about when you're taking Aegis. You need to commit on your first life. Also, if you die one time, does your team survive until you're back up? Also, is there a possibility that you can die twice in a row? So in this game, for example, if you don't use anything and you just die the first life, can they kill you from full to 100 on your second life? What do you think?
They can. Shaman can change that.
Yes, not only that, the ice path can hit you if he's good enough, he can place ice path on you when you revive so that you can't even BKB when you come out.
Okay.
There is that chance. So like it is you have to be very careful. Aegis doesn't make you just Superman. All of a sudden you still need to be very careful how you're pushing high ground.
Okay. So then, how would you like deal with this over here? Like, what would you do then?
Okay, so this is another factor is your team strong enough to go high ground at this point in the game? It's very complicated question because you guys can take high ground in a way if you do it safely enough. But like damage wise, if you look at your items, you have a BKB, Battle Fury, Morbid Mass. You have any damage items.
No,
Do you kill towers fast?
not really.
Not really. The the bear, he has a little bit more damage. He has a Majoner and the Fusel. So he can maybe Lone Druid is one of the better heroes for ending games early and hitting objectives early, in the game. Right now, you have to understand your timing is not really quite there. We talked about like your core timing
Okay.
being like BKB, AGS, SMY. Like that's like the timing on Troll. You're a different build, but you with this build you have a different timing as well. Your timing for this build is like your MKB. You need your one damage item. So up to this point, you kind of want to let your LD kind of hit towers. You want to be like just very careful how you're chipping towers. You don't want to force. You want to try to get as much as off the map as you can without throwing the game. So this tower push, high ground push you did was the reason why you guys kind of threw a bit. Okay, let me go back a bit.
Oh,
Okay, so point out the first mistake that you see happening here in a couple seconds. Okay, what was the first mistake that you see so far?
um, like I am taking damage,
Yes.
and like the shaman is nearby.
Yes, the main thing is that this tower was hitting you the whole time.
Yes.
You took almost 50% of your damage just from the tower alone. I think that made it very, very hard. And this is the thing where you didn't use your stuff on the first life. So by the time you came up on your second life, it was already kind of too late. So in this scenario, what I would recommend is even though you have Aegis,
Hmm.
you don't need to be tanking tower. You want to let your
Okay.
bear. Your bear is kind of like your tower hitter right now. So you kind of let the
Hmm.
bear hit, because you don't really hit towers. You have a BKB. You're a fighter. You're ready to fight the enemy team, but you're not really able to just tank stuff yet. So I think if you were just here, you just back up. You go range form. You come back here by the LD, and you just hit the tower with your team. You say you're
Okay.
around your team, and you just hit tower. That way you don't have to be tanking all of this. You don't run in that far in.
I see.
Because all it was is just you on the side. Same thing of the. We have to think about who kills you What are you worried about is the shaman being CC'd, being able to not hit people. So I think this is just like a positioning thing with the Aegis. We'll go over like one more. I will also say you guys had like a 9k lead. So like sometimes you don't really want to go high ground unless you're very disciplined about how to hit it. You know, like I was talking about how to hit this, you guys can do it if you're very disciplined, but the best option in your games is not even to go high ground with the first Aegis. With the first Aegis,
Okay.
you can just take the last tier 2 towers and then you go farm. You farm your next item and then maybe even wait until they come out to take a fight, smoke with your team, take a fight, and then when they're dead, you go high ground. Or you wait until you have an item, you get the second Roshan, and then you get the banner. And then with the banner, you can put the banner down and then also play a little bit more safe. But
Okay.
in pro games, a lot of teams they try to even get like a 20k net worth lead before they go high ground, just because they want to make sure
Uh,
that they have such over a devastating lead and damage and like net worth that's very hard for the enemy team to even fight them.
how to know that you are like 20k net worth away? Like, is
So
there a way?
look at your items, and you have
Yeah.
two full items. Look at the Sven. He has three small items. So this is like 2k.
Yeah.
This is like 2k. And like this is like 2k, I think. 27. So this is like what? Almost 6k. Almost 6k here. You look at yourself. This is like 4k. This is like 4k. This is like 8k here. So maybe you have like a 2k, lead barely over that guy. Which is like if you look at it, you have like a 1.5k.
Okay.
So just kind of
I
looking
see.
at the items is kind of how you can tell a little bit. You look at this guy, you have Battle Fury, he has Battle Fury, you have BKB, he has Manta. Manta is, I think, like around 4k,
Yeah.
46. So you could say you guys kind of like almost have like the same, right? Except for now, I think you just got the Demon's Edge, but you didn't even have that before you died.
Yeah. Right.
So you guys are like almost like the same network. So like you want to check your enemies, items more often as well.
Yeah. I never do that actually.
Yeah. So that's one way to tell, but I think like just when you're going high ground, also the easiest side to push, if you're against Dire, is gonna be your top lane, and then if you're against Radiant, it's gonna be their bottom lane, because they don't have this little
Okay.
gate. So when you're coming this way, there's only so many ways they can like engage you. They're either gonna be in the small trees here, or they're gonna come around here. If you're coming from mid, it's like they coming from all these angles, all these angles around.
Oh. Okay.
You come in bottom lane, same thing, like angles here, all this stuff over here. So this is like the easiest quote unquote. It's not always that matters that much, but it's just something to think about if you want to the least throwable way to win a game. You know, the least throwable way
Okay.
is you want to get the first tier ones. Then you go for Torm and the Aegis. When you have Aegis, you get the rest of the tier 2s. Then if nothing's happening, you keep farming, farming, farming. You go second Aegis, Banner, and then you try to go tier 3s. Once you feel like you're actually strong enough to force it. I think that like with your lineup this game, it wasn't that bad of an idea to force it early because they have three carries. And you have a
Yeah.
lone druid, and lone druid is good at pushing towers. But you just have to use your strength of your heroes. You let the lone druid, like you're like the secondary tower hitter early on. Lone druid is a primary early
Hmm.
on. Later in the game, when you start getting more items, then you're like the more primary. But like early on, you have to be careful of the shaman, careful of the Jakiro, and kind of let your team start the fight. But like, let's go over one more point and then we'll wrap this up. I think we are talking about how when your team's feeding as well, something that you can do to prevent that. So even after this fight, you guys will have like 5k lead, so it's still not lost yet. So you're farming your next item, and I want you to just look where your team is. So you're here, farming this side of the map. Your team is here. Do you feel like you're weaker or stronger than the enemy at this point in the game?
I am stronger. That's what I feel. Like
Yeah,
not if two, three people gang on me, but
yeah.
like solo, I am strong.
Solar is strong, and then what about 5v5?
I think we will win. Like if they are not near a tower, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys are just fighting in the middle, out in the open 5v5, I think you guys win, right? So you guys are stronger.
Yeah.
So that means that you want to keep the map controls. You're pushing this lane to keep this pressure on this top lane. That's why you're farming here, okay? So you want to think
Yeah.
about keeping pressure. You want to shove them in the base so they're not farming as much as possible. So you're shoving here. Where should you go after you shove this lane?
Mid lane then.
I'm sorry? I couldn't hear you. Can you hear me?
Middle lane, I mean.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. I can hear you now. Yeah, you said middle lane. Yeah. So
Yeah.
middle lane is probably going to be the best thing. You want to go towards your team here. You know, shove this in, and you want to just kind of
Okay.
be close to them. You want to be farming around their triangle, farming around their side of the map to take away their farm. So we'll see what you do. Standing around top. So you're farming, and then you see this guy here. So you did not go to middle lane. So you're kind of not putting pressure on the map. You're just going to the same lane and you're
Okay.
coming back here. And you guys are ahead. Once again, we talked about you feel like you're stronger. So if you feel like you're stronger, this is not where you want to be farming on this side.
Okay.
And this
Uh,
is your team has been over
But
here.
actually, my team is also taking the middle lane farm, right? Then, like, why should I go there?
So there's more camps than that. So there's you're here. There
Hmm.
are camps here, here. I mean, you just
Okay.
want to be closer to your team. Like you don't need to be on your side of the map. Like you want to have a line
Okay.
when you're ahead, you don't go back on your side. You stay on the enemy side. It's because you want to be farming. You say you're strong. You're ready to fight. You have a BKB. I mean, if you can get the next item is nice, but like you're still strong. If there's an opportunity to fight outside of the base, you want to be there, right?
Okay.
So you want to just be farming as close
Right.
to your teaming as to your team as possible. You know, even if you're here taking this wave, you don't care. Your team is right here. You know, if they go on you, at least you're close to your team.
Hmm. Okay.
And I think that's really like the main thing, cause like it's just from here, your team is going to walk into them, and let's see.
I actually thought like since they took that outpost, maybe I have the TP and I can go help them.
Yeah,
But
they
I
do
think they
have
got
it.
engaged on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got engaged on the other side, and just with the Sven and Jakiro, I'm sorry, Sven Omni Slash, they just got deleted in seconds. So like from here, the game is like really hard. I think like
Okay.
off of that, like the game is like almost lost because like they have two carries that are really strong, that are top net worth, and you're strong, but now you know they're a little stronger. So like you kind of lost your timing. So I think overall, the main thing being, and I'll send you like a little type up as well when we're done. But the main thing just being understanding what is your timing on your hero. So when is your hero actually strong enough to go high ground? You know, what conditions need to be met? Number one, if they're dead. That's the main condition. If they're dead, you can go high ground. Number two, you
Hmm.
have Aegis. You have Aegis, and you're trying to chip it down in a smart manner to where you're not going to bait in your team. You know, you want to be able to actually have pressure on the tower, or just let your lone druid play it. You know, hit the tower. So you know, just play to your strengths, and then I think also like once I want to test out the Yule's thing. I think the Ags on Troll I think is very strong to not get it is.
I don't think it works. Even on force stuff, it doesn't work. So like maybe if they have Yules and force stuff, it's better to go Nullifier.
Hmm. Yeah, that can be true. Let
Like
me test it out here. I think against the shaman, it should still at least work. I think he had what, Glimmer, right?
yeah, yeah, for Glimmer it works. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think your PC is a bit slow. Yeah, right, it's up.
Yeah, so yeah, it doesn't stop that. Yeah, so I think only Nullifier will work against that then. But I think against his passive it should work. Let's see. Yeah, it works against his passive. So it doesn't work against the Yules or the Force Sap, but yeah, the Nullifier would definitely be better in those cases then.
Mhm.
Hmm. But even like besides that, what the axe also does, it makes you like a little bit beefier. So it
Yeah,
just
definitely.
yeah,
Mhm.
makes you a little bit beefier. It's just like with the SNY. Yeah, like just this being like the main core build makes you very tanky. It like helps you not be CC'd as much, and then you can kind of build the last item to being what you need. So either you can get the MKB if you feel like you need the MKB. I think you got it because of the Juggernaut getting the butterfly, correct?
Butterfly. Yeah.
I think it
And also
wasn't
like uh, MKB's magic damage and it works against Swain as well.
worse against Sven. So why do you want to do magic damage against Sven?
Like he has a lot of armor in the tank.
Because of his war cry, right?
Because
He has a lot of armor because of war
yeah, yeah,
cry.
right, right, work right. Yeah,
Yeah, which you could also take off with your axe.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the
That is
axe is
useful.
good versus that. Yeah, and then like I think you just go like either you can go Scotty, Abyssal. I think is also not bad options. Um, I think the MKB is not necessary in that game. Let me see if I can pull the replay up one more time.
But I would also need the nullifier, right? In this case, in the end.
I think Nullifier is not bad. I think oh yeah, it was also versus the Aeon disc. That's the big thing. That's what he had. Your Ags, I believe it does work against Aeon disc.
Okay.
So you can debuff that and then the war cry. But versus their team, I think you just want to make sure that you're living and not getting CC'd like early on. So like the Scotty is also good because they have the Satanics over here. They have two Satanics. They also have the Healing Ward and the Healing Facet. So they have a lot of healing on their team. So Satanic
Yeah.
wouldn't be bad because they have two melee heroes as well. So it's hard for them to run away. Like you stick on top of heroes with Scotty. I think maybe the Scotty could be a good option last. Also, a refresher is not bad. So like you can go Scotty, you can go Scotty, you can like sell your boots, get a Swift
Okay,
Blink,
with Kadi we can. Acha, okay, got
yeah,
it.
and then you can also eat your eggs and buy a refresher. And like
Okay.
this, like you're really hard to kill. Like you just blink in on the back line, you know, you
Hmm.
ulti in, and like they're going to die. Whoever you go on is going to die every time. And then you have two BKBs, two ultis. It's kind of like the ultimate late game for Troll. Troll is actually one of the best late game heroes in the game.
Okay.
Mhm. But I will do a little post game um little like one page. I'll send over to you for like a reference. You have like any last
Yeah,
closing
sure.
questions?
No, I think I made a few mistakes here and there in this game, and the itemization was totally wrong, I guess. So, like, even if opponent has butterfly, NKB is not necessary.
I think not in this game specifically. I think you guys have ways to kill the the jug. Even like with him having butterfly, I think you guys have like this dismember, you have like the AA blast, and I think like the bear just hitting on the juggernaut doesn't really care as much. I feel like the juggernaut also wasn't that much of a problem. What seemed like was the issue is the natures just kind of kiting you guys. The natures were just kind of
Yeah,
in the back line, just hitting everybody. It was like the natures and the shaman, really, was just keeping
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
from hitting.
Shaman was the main problem. So annoying.
Yeah, like the jug didn't really do anything. I mean, like Sven, like kind of just does Sven things eventually. You know, he just hits pretty hard, but like MKB doesn't do anything versus Sven. You know, having the Scotty, a Basher, Satanic, any of those would be better versus Sven, better versus the natures. The MKB doesn't do anything. Like very like niche situations to get MKB in. You also hit so many times on troll that like it's like 80% chance you're missing 35. Yeah, it's better options I think in the game, at least for like this game specifically.
Okay.
All right, is that everything you had?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
No problem. If it was useful, I will reach back out, you know, for a testimonial if you wouldn't mind. If
Definitely.
definitely if you want to do some more sessions in the future, definitely let me know. We can try to get some stuff scheduled. Maybe we can do my early morning next time. It'll be like around your 8 p.m.
Okay. Sure, sure.
All right. Well, you have a good rest of your day,
Okay.
man. It was good talking to you. And good luck
Yeah,
out there.
sure. Bye. Yeah.